Hello and welcome to this video in which I'll be reacting to Estonia's songs for Eesti Laul 2025.
A disclaimer. Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. The shortest and simplest reason being that I find the actions of the Israeli government to be abhorrent and their broadcaster isn't a separate entity. My reasons in their entirety, however, are numerous and too detailed for a disclaimer like this, but videos closely aligning with my point of view are listed in the description. I encourage you to watch those videos and do something. Further resources are added as and when they become relevant. I'll stop addressing this when it no longer needs to be addressed.
I'm recording this before both Estonia's and Albania's songs are out, and honestly, the only person that I really know much about is Tommy Cash. He's been around the Eurovision circles for a little while now, and everyone's getting very excited about Espresso Macchiato, or Espresso Macchiato. I don't know what I'll think about it. I wasn't immediately blown away by Cha 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 or Europapa. I don't quite jump on the hype bandwagon immediately with these songs. I do eventually get it somewhere down the line usually. But Tommy has also been saying this is unconventional and, you know, maybe we shouldn't be comparing it to that either. I'm wearing the Christmas jumper because today is St. Nicholas Day, which is celebrated mostly in Eastern Europe, but other places as well, so that's why today's a Christmas jumper day. I'm not sure I know much about the other artists. Ollie's not back because he's been second the last 2 years, and honestly, I am expecting at this point, before the songs are out, Tommy Cash to just outright win Eesti Laul. Someone else could definitely surprise me, and I think there would be mass outrage from Eurofans if that were to happen, based on just the names alone, not knowing about anything about the songs, really. But we shall see. We'll find out soon. That's the only thing that I really wanted to say before I listen to the songs, so I'll listen to the songs now, once they're released, and come back to you with my thoughts on them. Okay, we have now listened to all songs currently available for Eesti Laul 2025, and I'd like to give you my top 5, I've decided. I was feeling a little bit exhausted while listening through these because I spent 2 hours looking for the songs for Festivali Kengesh 63 and for Eesti Laul 2025, and eventually did find the songs for Eesti Laul. Still haven't found the Festivali Kengesh songs, and initially I'd found the live stream for Eesti Laul, but that was only 1:30 about of each song, and I wanted to listen to full songs because sometimes there's something that happens in the last 30 seconds or first 30 seconds that can completely change your opinion on a song, so I didn't want to just be listening to 1.5 minutes of each. I remember last year thinking that the songs chosen by the juries were very, very safe for Eesti Laul, and then the 5 that were added from the public were the more interesting ones. I don't really know what the entire selection process was like this year, and I thought a lot of the songs were pretty mediocre. They can definitely be elevated with a true staging, with a live performance, but the studio versions, nothing really grabbed me in any meaningful way, which is okay. That doesn't need to happen every time, and maybe my exhaustedness from looking for the songs also impacted it. I also think the running order of alphabetical by artist name didn't help because the first 5, there were 3, to me, techno-y songs and then 2 sad ballads, and that just didn't really help my perception of any of them because a mixture is better. The songs for Supernova were released 2 days ago, and comparing it directly to that, I definitely prefer that quality, but once again, could just be my mood, which is why I listen to all the songs for a particular national final, unless they're adding like a wild card like this, on one day. Tommy Cash is in my top 5, but with caveats, so listen out for that in a moment. In my 5th spot, I've got Pretty Till the End of the World from Stereo Terror. It sounds a bit like an English language version of Cha Cha Cha, but from Estonia to me, based on mostly how the song is structured and its sounds and its theme. It's got slightly more screamo, I suppose, than Cha Cha Cha, but it's just fun. I can listen to it. I wouldn't hate it at Eurovision, especially because I imagine they'll have a pretty creative staging concept. In my 4th spot, I do have Solo Anthem by Felin. I'm not really sure, I'm so sorry. It reminds me a little bit of Denmark 2022, the show. I enjoy this kind of sound. I grew up on Disney Channel and Rocky stuff, and this is that cross section exactly. It was the first song that I enjoyed out of a lot, so maybe I've also put it up slightly higher because of that, but I like the sound, and with a good live performance it could definitely be elevated to something that I genuinely, truly enjoy by itself on its own merit, not just based on my tastes or the songs that I expect to like, so it could be something that I really grow to enjoy with a good live performance. In my third spot, I've got Espresso Macchiato by Tommy Cash. I am baffled a little bit. I thought he said it's going to be so unconventional, and it's just minimal Italian with badly pronounced English on purpose about ordering his coffee and being tired and feeling like a mafioso, and I don't really understand right now what's meant to be so special about it. I am holding space though. I'm very curious about the actual live performance. Maybe there's something that happens there that he's got an incredible plan for that will completely transform my opinion of the song. But upon my very first listen, just the studio version with his preparing his coffee music video, I really don't get it. I did find it fun. If there had been no hype to it, I think I would have still enjoyed it and probably had it in my upper half. I'm not sure it would have come third. But based on everything that has been said so far, I am confused. And I'm wondering if we're being trolled and this just is it, or if there is a deeper plan, a grand master genius plan that he's got going on that we will all be blown away by on February 15th potentially. But as of right now, I'm just confused and waiting for more. In my second spot, I've got Tule by, I don't know how to speak Estonian, I'm so sorry, Rapin Jack and Kaisa Ling. I really don't think that's how your names are pronounced. I'm very, very sorry. I really enjoyed the sound for Estonia. I don't remember any Estonian folk ever being at Eurovision. Definitely could be wrong there though, and this was very fascinating to listen to. It took me on a journey, I feel like, and if I were to choose two concepts to describe it with, it would be Panic at the Disco's album Pretty Odd meets Vikings. That's what it sounded like to me. Very interesting combo, and I really genuinely enjoyed listening to it. With a creative staging, this could be a standout at Eurovision if it were to go. So definitely enjoyed it and the concepts for it while listening to the studio version, and I'm curious to see what the live version will bring us. Now, my number one for Eesti Laul is my number one, but I'm not particularly passionate about it, unfortunately. Maybe that is just the exhaustion, as I say, of not being able to find the songs and waiting 2 hours to find anything at all. But it is Psycho by Gem98. I like it more than I feel I should. It sounds a bit like Youngblood to me. I don't really listen to Youngblood, but I feel like I should. And the voice also reminds me of a Gerard Way kind of voice from My Chemical Romance, so it's definitely emo. The chorus was a bit too repetitive for me, but the beat and the voice were really good. And I can see it really, really being elevated live. So I'm looking out for that live performance as well. And I just enjoyed listening to it the most out of these 15 songs on my first listen to the studio versions. So that's what's going in my number one. My ranking is once again very unconventional compared to everyone else. My number one and two are number 14 and 15 in everyone else's rankings so far. So upside down. The rankings on my Eurovision scoreboard right now is that number one is Maetesin, which I didn't like at all, unfortunately. Maybe it's just because I was in a weird mood when listening to it, but it didn't grab me. Maybe a live performance would change that, maybe a few more listens would change that, but for me, that's actually my last place right now in my ranking, and that's number one in my Eurovision scoreboard. Second is Anne Marlene with Kulm, which once again, I didn't love. It's also fairly low down on my ranking, but once again, maybe I'm just missing something, and on a different day, I could have had them higher. Third is Tommy Cash. Just about the point difference between second and third is minimal, so He could also climb to 1 by the time I've uploaded this, but we will wait and see. Number 4 is The Last to Know, also something that's pretty low down on my list. My list is basically almost upside down compared to everyone else's. I enjoyed that one. It's low down, but I didn't really dislike it. I just don't have any particularly strong emotions about most of these songs for Eesti Laul 2025 initially. And then 5th is Minimal Wind, which is Armageddon, which I think has potential. I just didn't quite grasp it on my first listen once again. So, interesting that my ranking is almost completely upside down to everyone else's. Upon first listen though, and without the live shows, and maybe other people were understanding the interviews in Estonian and I just did not, so that could also change your opinion on a song if you understand what the artist says about it. Overall, I'm mildly disappointed by Eesti Laul 2025 so far, but this even more than Supernova, I'm excited about the live shows because I feel like there's a lot of creativity there in Estonia, and a lot of these songs are very dependent on the staging in terms of my opinions of them, at least. I think everyone else is too, but I'll only be speaking for myself for now. So I guess I'll have to wait 3 months to find out what I think about the songs in their final version. Oh wow, big stretch. But I'm definitely more curious to watch Eesti Laul in full now, and depending on what other national finals are going on, I might try to, which wasn't my plan initially, so well done for piquing my interest, I guess. And that's all I've got to say right now about Eesti Laul 2025. If you've got any thoughts, please do leave them down in the comments below. I'm excited to hear what other people actually think, because just the ranking seems to be upside down for me. So do tell me what you think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do literally like it. Share the video if you think there's anyone else you think might find it enjoyable to watch, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my Eurovision 2025 and beyond content. And thank you ever so much just for watching the video though, that's a real help as it is. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it. I'll see you next one, whether that shows up on your feed. Bye! I really liked that one take, but I'm going to do another one just in case me and editing has different thoughts.